Over here,
Me like,
I,
I'm happy to get up out.
oh man, you don't know, you don't know. Like, I mean, knock on wood, my mother is better when she gets out the hospital and all that, but
Listen,
I am ready
wait,
to excavate.
Ready?
over here,
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
All
happy to get up
right.
out. Oh man,
We are
man, you don't know. You
here
don't know.
with another
You don't
episode
know.
of Content is Queen,
I mean, knock on wood, my mother is
Conversations
better
with
when she gets
Leaders
out
and
the hospital and
Learners
all that, but
Mhm.
listen, I am ready
with
to get
Mr. Kareem Tyson.
Woo, Reem'o Meerak in the building. What's up?
And we are going to have a dope conversation about what he's doing and, what's going on out in why, how we can get him out here in Cali with some of his
Yes.
amazing creative arts that he has going on. So with no further ado, I'm going to go ahead and let you, Kareem, let the people know about you and all of your creative ventures that you have going on right now.
Oh man, how do I follow up with that after opening like that? You already know my name is Kareem Reem'o Meerak Tyson. Ooh, slew of things in entertainment, podcaster, media personality, television producer, videographer, A&R of Worldwide Sound Records, gamer, actor, actually planning to get back into acting as well. The only thing, I don't rap and I don't sing, so you won't be getting an album from me anytime soon. I respect both cultures.
Well, I'm assuming that you deal with plenty of those actors and rappers, musicians, and other talents. So tell me a little bit about that, how you deal with other creatives that are in a different space than you, but
Mhm.
also have a lot of creativity.
Woo, I'm not gonna lie. I'll take it with my day job. I forgot to mention also I'm a public school educator as well, teaching assistant, and one time was an actor. I take what I put my day job, because with my day job I deal with the youth a lot. I have a lot of energy. I have to like deal with them in regards to navigating, their energies and emotions and their intellect, and do the best I can throughout an 8-day schedule. You know what I'm saying? So when
Eight
it comes to
days,
the entertainment, I bring the same, huh?
8 day schedule.
I mean, sorry, 8-hour schedule. Excuse me. Sorry. You happens, forget our days since the crisis we're in and everything like that. But no, 8 hour schedule. Monday to Friday. You're dealing with different personalities, and you have to guide them to a better light. So definitely when it comes to the entertainment world, I bring the same thing, plus also with a twist of me being myself. Definitely that's the one thing I learned, 14 years now. Oh my God. Dealing with entertainment and the many people that I've met, and even from mentors, the information I've took, and the entertainers that I've met, this is definitely a grind. It's definitely hard work. It's consistency, and it's really about building the relationships. That's really key. Yeah, you can meet to said entertainers or public relations people like yourself, or whomever under the umbrella of entertainment. It's okay you meet them, but how long are you maintaining the relationships?
Right.
I could attest to that. One of my good friends and filmmaking buddies, helped me out tremendously during this crisis. He gave me he gave me his extra iMac desktop. You know,
Hmm.
during the time when both the studios that I operate out of was closed down. You know, you know, if I didn't have that relationship with him, who knows what happened? I don't even think this would even transpired. I probably would have been doing this interview on my phone or off
Hmm.
my tablet. So that just goes a long way to show you. You got to definitely maintain your relationships.
Now, talk to me a little bit more about the students that you teach and
Okay.
your creative arts and how you kind of fold that all in.
Woo! All right. So pretty much, I am in a D75 setting, which is another term for a special case. I deal with students with special needs. The students I primarily deal with are the word I want to use? I'm trying to make this as political as possible. Let's go with behavioral needs. I don't want to, go too in deep with it, but I pretty much, help them out, focus in their studies and stuff through, without, using their behaviors to blind them of their greatness. And then for me, I've been involved with education for 9 years now. Around year 3, year 4 is when I started introducing them into my world, my other world, as far as an entrepreneur and an entertainer. And the reason why I did that, because I wanted to bridge the gap. I didn't want it to be, oh, I'm teacher and you're a student. You know what I'm saying? I never believed that. And also for me too, which I've always expressed, I'm a former D75 student. I'm a former special education student. So, you know, I try to show them like, okay, look, you could break the stigma. I broke the stigma. You could break it too. So I tell them other things. On my YouTube channel, I've at time, you know, if they did their work, I would always like, motivate them. All right, look, do your work, behave. I'll show you who I met at an event, or I'll show you who I work with, or I'll show you things that I do and create. And also too, when I was on the school board for the last like 3 years and stuff, I really like told people of my story, for them to listen to me, like, what I'm saying, to make things better for the students. Like I told them, I said, look, I came from a school, when I was in D75, when I was in special education, that they made us do community walks. They made us go on trips. I mean, if it wasn't for a couple of students that were acting up, we were supposed to go to Disney World. Like, this is facts. This is truest of facts. You know what I'm saying? But I was telling them that to let them know that, we shouldn't rely or keep on the stigmatization. You know what I'm saying? Like the marginal trips, like, okay, the zoo or only the park. Like, no, let's expand their minds. I feel for me, I always felt with the youth, if you expand their minds tremendously, it could break them out of what they're boxed in with. And I know society doesn't want to hear that. Society doesn't think that can happen. No, but it can. It can and it will, when both sides, education and the home, put that energy into it. So, definitely, that's what I've been doing as far as my students thus far.
So, what is your tactic when they're not receptive to the olive branch that you're extending, to the extra attention and the extra opportunities that you're extending to them? What then becomes your method of communicating and leading them to have a more open mind?
First and foremost, it depends on the situation. Now, if they're really highly vital in that moment, 9 times out of 10, I do let them breathe. I let them, because they deserve it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta let them breathe. You gotta let them express their emotions without, you constraint. Oh my God, no, you can't say it. No, I do the best I can. And then when it's like at a certain level, just build an understanding. Like, I remember one of my students last year. He was just upset. He was furious, because of what he wanted wasn't what what he expected of a gift wasn't really what it was, and he misinterpreted. So the one thing I always like using is a method is like always let them know it's always about like when you have a business. I don't tell them about the job. I stopped saying that a long time ago because we have to start educating our youth about okay, the idea that getting a business is not the is not dad, what's the word? Oh my God, I hate when I forget my words. It's not imperative. You know what I'm saying? Or it's not a thing that can't happen. You can get your best. So that's what I use all the time as a business model. I always use the business model with them. I look, like if they got a hand and they yell at a teacher, right? I would express to them like, look, do you think I could go to your business and I would shop if you yelled at me? Like, oh, it's $4.99. Do you think I'm going to shop at your? I'm not going to shop at your business. So you can't, scream at people about things. I say you have to talk. I say you take a deep breath, and they don't like it. They'll like give me a little angry face, like, I don't want to take a deep breath. I'm like, no, take a deep breath and try it, and then it works. So it's a lot of trial and error, you know what I'm saying? But also too, I bring my entertainment skills into it. So, sometimes some of my students will like eat through it and be like, oh no, I think you're being sarcastic. You're trying to trick me. I'm like, no, I'm not trying to trick you. How can I trick you? It's just
Well,
certain. Huh?
this isn't actually the path that I was going to take you down, but since we're here,
Okay.
I would love to know your thoughts on police in schools, because I have been having this conversation a lot, and you are an educator. So, what are your thoughts, if you don't mind expressing them and sharing them with the audience, about police in schools? Is it always a bad thing? Is there a way it can be done right? Talk to me about
Well, here's the thing. Like, to my understanding, like the school safeties we have, like over here in New York, they're part of NYPD. So not necessarily they operate under the same kind of tactics, because it's a school, so it's different type of tactics. But if things get to a level, a certain level, then they have an operation that they go by.
Okay.
I think from my experience, I think one student tried it, and I use reverse psychology. I was like, listen, pal, I can't do anything past this here. I said, once it goes here, this is out of my jurisdiction. And
Right.
then the student, yeah, right. And the student did kind of think about it after a while. I was like, yeah, like I can't do nothing outside of this. I said, but I could do this, but I can't do anything outside of this. So let's try to take a deep breath and calm down about it. So, with my job, what I'm saying, that's what it's been. Like I've always felt like, what was used upon me,
Right.
and I always use with my students. Cause like I said, as being a former D75 student, I'm not gonna lie, I did have a bad temper and stuff like that. But, I was always good at my studies. But the thing was, it was just a temper. But I allowed others to help me out. And that's the key. Like once you bring out of a child, like, okay, for them to allow it, because it's hard for a child to like allow something, you know what I'm saying, that they don't want,
Do you
so
work with your children, your kids, your students in your entertainment business at all? When is the opportunity for you to bring them into that world, or do you keep them separate?
um I bring them to that world on certain things. So I remember one time for a lesson, I was teaching them about how to make a music video.
Mm.
We were doing like nursery rhymes. So what it was I was filming them, but I was teaching them about the editing. So they were doing the nursery rhyme like it was a Dr. Seuss day. So I think the Dr. Seuss book we did, I know, I think the Dr. Seuss book we did was oh, I forgot which one. It wasn't Green Eggs and Ham. Oh, I think it's one fish, two fish, I think. So as they're reading it, I'm like directing them. I use the I forgot what Diddy song I use. We just having bopping, dancing, I'm directing them. They're directing each other, like, no, you gotta do like this in the music video. I was like, all right, bet, and I'm showing them and I'm guiding them and everything. And then, I brought it to the class and we used iMovie. So I'm teaching them like how to use iMovie as far as directing, like as far as editing and everything like that. So then, the kids now they're like engaged. So they're asking the teacher, oh, could we get on Mr. Tyson's iPad? Could we just direct something again? But it gets the minds going. And I feel with education, and I'm gonna be as political as I can on this. I know people or your fan base or whomever watching is like, all right, what's really going on?
Give
I'm
it
trying
to
to be
them.
I'm be as political, because I know how it is, sensitivity and everything, but I'll be as political about it. I feel when we get the creative arts back heavily, you know, it's a tremendous help. Like get back the shop classes, get back the full art classes, not just break them up. The STEM courses, those are amazing for these. Like you don't understand, like when I've seen my students create like the most best inventions from STEM courses, Lego inventions and other things that I matter to, and cooking things. Like that's what we have to give back to the youth. And for me, I feel strongly once those things are heavily back, things will change with the youth. And also too, it's a regional thing too as well. But overall, I feel like those things happen, and as well as education and home connection. I feel there's like this weird void in between that, and with me, like I was telling the school board, I was like, look, I said my mother was heavily involved and school had no problem with it. Like my mom was like heavily involved, and that was tremendous help in me, transitioning from special ed to regular ed, and or general ed, it was tremendous. It was insurmountable. Like if that didn't happen, I don't know what would have occurred
Right.
of my life. I don't know what. So it's like education. We have, and also too, I feel education needs to step it up a bit as far as catching up with the times.
Mm-hmm.
I feel a vast amount of parents are not as conventional as education was used to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, we do have lots of parents that are on mobile devices, and they're on social media, and they're on other devices as well. So it's like I feel educate. This is what I feel. I just feel that education is a tad bit off, a bit. I mean, yeah, they are making bits and pieces here and there, and it's unfortunate because the states get involved with their funding and everything of that. So I do understand that to a degree, but I feel whatever education has, it should be aimed towards that,
Yeah.
tremendously. I think that would definitely bridge the gap of between the home and schools, or home and education, period.
I've spent a lot of my early adulthood coaching and mentoring young girls from, let's say, junior high school through high school.
Right.
And many of them have turned out to be amazing mothers,
Mm-hmm.
doctors, physicians, nurses, in law enforcement, just amazing. And some of them have been kind enough to let me know that I've had an effect on their life, how it turned out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what I want to know from you, since you are in education, what are some of your forward thinking views and hopes and dreams for the kids that you're able to touch right now?
Oh man. Oh, whew. I'll say this. I know. I think it was like 2 summers ago. I know I was at a cookout, and one of my former students from when I first started, when I was an active dean, um, came up to me. I mean, they're grown now. I mean, that at this time they were grown. Um, they came up to me and they're like, "Listen, yo, man, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I know I was saying I was doing some bonehead things and clownish stuff back then, but yo, you was definitely right what you told me." And I think, if I'm not mistaken, from what I used to tell those students when I first started, I would tell them, I'm like, look, I'm like, society's not going to be fair to you once you get out of here. I said, listen, yes, your aim is to get out of this situation. Because I was working at a what we call over here 500 school.
Mhm.
It was a high school, but it was like for those that dropped out, or you know that didn't want to continue to go to school or whatever, and they get their GEDs and whatever. But I was telling them, I was like, listen, I said, your goal is to get out of here, but then you got another goal after that, and that's survival. And at first they looked at me kind of weird, like, what do you like, why would you tell me that? But I'm telling them, I'm like, listen, I'm only telling you this because I don't want you to be a statistic. And and I always kept it real. I was always transparent with my students. And I would tell them, I would say, look, I didn't come here just to only be a teacher. I said I came here because I see what's going on in my community and I don't like it. So once he heard that, that right there alone shattered, okay, you're a teacher, I'm student, or whatever, I'm teacher, you're a student, that kind of dynamic. And they started like gravitating to me. And and other teachers were like kind of like weirded by it, I guess because they didn't understand it versus
Or it was a level of honesty that they weren't ready to receive.
right. So they got it, and the students started gravitating to me. It wasn't like, oh, you're active dean, and it wasn't a real buddy thing. It was more of a I understand where you're coming from thing. That's what I was going into. And also too, I mean, it's like a 500. I don't feel like having to physically fight or physically have to break up fights and all that, if I know I could use here to guide them to like, all right, look, just be yourself, but don't engage in nonsense, you know. And that's why I carried on. And over the 9 years, I always found other ways to elevate myself. And even now, I'm in a junior high school, and before this COVID thing, when my students, I would motivate them like, look, all right, if you behave and do your work, I'll open up and allow you, because I'm a gamer. So as you see behind me, I got my gaming stuff there and everything.
Yeah, big kid.
I would I would tell them, look, I'll add you on my gaming, but as long as you are kosher and as long as you are maintaining a level of respect, I have no problem doing that. But that just opens another door, so they understand.
Be open.
Yeah.
Open. Show your humanity. It's actually what
Yeah.
I've been trying to get the police departments to listen to, is show your humanity.
By
Things
far, it works.
a lot further. We're able to have conversation. We're able to communicate on a higher level than just here. You can show your humanity. So listen,
Yes.
Dean, Board of Education, you got some credentials, sir.
To a degree.
What else? what am I missing here?
The entertainment part.
Which we really didn't even get into, but I wanted to ask you, with entertainment, I guess working with the people that you work with and in the schools, when we talked about leadership, you said you are more of a situational leader, and that's your style. So talk to me about why situational leadership instead of maybe transformative or democratic process, because you do seem kind of open to, oh, well, let me see how they want to do, or certain things you need done, and you have a little charisma, so it could have been charismatic, but you said you're more of a situational leader. So
You're right.
talk to me about that.
Ooh, I think I was speaking more off of the experience of what I do with my day job.
Okay.
I mean, because with my day job, that's more situational per se. You know what I'm saying? Because each day, a different situation arises. So it depends upon how well I could accurately pinpoint or accurately diffuse, what can happen. So I mean, as far as the choices that I saw, that's the only one that really pointed out, because the other ones, as far as in my experience, I haven't really I don't want to say witness, I'm not really witnessed that, but it's more so I haven't really experienced that yet. You know what I'm saying? So with situational, I like, that's my experience. That's of my experience. That's just right there, pinpoint.
Now you're in a business though with other people, right?
Oh,
Other
man.
humans. And unless it's something that you're directing, which I guess in that situation, you have to be more direct and, autocratic.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
you let your subjects have a little say in what's going on. Like, okay, now talk to me about your entertainment leadership style and how you deal with the talent that you deal with on a regular basis.
Oh man, where do you want to start? In regards to that, it's just as I stated before, maintaining my consistency as far as follow-ups, and even when I'm interviewing people on my platforms, I make sure I really study the information that was given to me, because for me, I'm not a clickbait content creator. I'm not one that, okay, I got a star on, I'm gonna ask them the goofy stuff, and that's not really helping me. And me, like I said, numbers is cool, but I'm more about, okay, what did my content mean for somebody, or for somebody to hear the conversation? That's what it's really about for me. So if my content only gathers 100 views versus 100,000 views, I'll take the 100 views and just make sure that my content was meant. So Right, quality content. Yeah, and even with the entertainers, like, I never in my 14-year career, I never wavered past it being business. At the end of the day, like, don't get me wrong, I have no problem bonding and making connections. And okay, cool. I'll call you, you call me if it's to go to lunch or if it's to go to golf or whatever the case may be. I have no problem with that, but I always make sure the number one thing is that it's business.
Okay.
Because for me personally, I don't like mixing things up. I hate it tremendously. I hate it. I'm one always about clear communication. Let's be
And setting
clear.
expectations.
Yeah, let's be clear. You asked me to do this, I'm going to do this. Now, if it's asking me to do anything else, let's just have understanding. You're asking me to do this. It's just like me. It's just like school all over again.
So at the end of the day, it comes down to clear communication.
Clear communication and consistency. Honestly,
that's so hard for some people, though.
No, but it's not. No, it's not hard. I think what it is that people nowadays in this era, and this is only my assessment, it's just that, and especially in entertainment, it's just that they want to make things complicated, and it's weird to me. It's very weird to me. No, seriously, I'm being serious. Like, it's very weird to me. Like, ever since I transitioned into media 8 years ago, right? Since 2012, transition from actor, model to media, and it was just like, I'm like, the weirdest things. I'm like, we could have just did this way. No, I don't know, and maybe so. They may not like it. Then when I get to actual talent, they come to me and they say, "Why didn't we just do it this way?" I'm like, I don't know. Talk to your PR, talk to your manager. I don't know. This is what I wanted to do, and it was this simple. Like, But that's just, I mean, that just comes to the territory of entertainment. And, to the future creatives that are listening on your platform, you can't let that fluster you. And one thing I've always, in my 14-year career, I never allowed anybody to put me in no damn box. That's just what it is. I just never, whatever this box that was created, I just like, oh, all right. Look, I'm not caring about that box. Like, my main thing.
Well, I'm sorry. What is it like being a Black creative right now in this environment that we're in?
Ooh, that's a very good question. You're the second person to ask me that since in this time frame. Listen, overall, it's a great feeling. I mean, yes, there's certain things that you have to make sure what you're creating is standing out, as far as standing out to help what's happening. But in the same token, you can't waver off too much off your niche of what you were already doing. I get it. It's great that if you're a platform, you talk about what's happening, I talk about what's happening, and 10,000 other people talk about what's happening. But then where is really the difference? Yes, it's the same pacing, but then there has to be a difference, for things to progressively go forward.
What do you feel is your niche? What is your specialty? Because you do a lot.
I know that's oof.
And then what are you best at? And is that what you like most? Because sometimes we're really good at something that's not our best talent.
Right. No, definitely for me, it's definitely media by far, as far as creating it, and then as well as being the media personality.
Which genre?
Ooh. Oh, you really going in? Oh man. No, it's all good.
Give people some good stuff.
No, that's fine. No. That's fine. That is fine. Fine and dandy. It was hip hop. I'm not gonna lie, but then the last 2 years I had eased back, based off of it was a lot of things I wasn't feeling with the culture. And then I eased back, and then I came into like gaming and tech, and then I started doing overall variety.
Okay.
So me doing the overall variety, it's helped me tremendously, even when it comes to questioning, assessing stories and stuff like that. It's really been that. So if I had to say, definitely media. To the other part of your question, I would say acting.
Best at.
The best at? Well, the best. Well, like I said, best has got to be media. Second best, if I could say, acting. I mean, that's why I'm aiming to get back into it. you know, because of the energy that I have, the energy I express, the
I
mannerisms.
thought you were going to say gaming, and then I was going to send one of my kids for you.
Gaming? Oh no, the gaming is there. Oh no, don't get it twisted.
But are you the best?
Am I the best? I'm guaranteed to be.
Okay. Just saying.
Listen, I'm just saying, I just want to give you a fair warning. If your kids play Madden, I'm letting you know I am a beast in that. I just don't send your kids to that. If it's 2K, they have a chance. If it's 2K fighting games, they got a chance. I'm not really as versed. As far as Madden, oh no, I'm versed in Madden. I'm very versed in Madden.
I may need to get your screen name and pass that on.
Okay, listen. If they want to follow me on PSN on PlayStation, it is Reem'o approved, all in one word.
All right, good enough. What do you have coming up?
Right now, well, I'll let your audience know I have your episode. I'm definitely going to be working on. It's going to be dropping today, Wednesday. It's going to be dropping.
Cool.
What else? My filming partner, he just let me know about he was filming over the weekend more scenes for our show called Behind the Camera. As well as I spoke to Hip Hop Gamer. We're still waiting on word for when the industry opens up, and then we get back at it with his show We Got Game, you know, and with me producing it and stuff like that. So that's pretty much in the works right now. And then Reem'o Cuts alone, you know, I'm definitely working heavily on Reem'o Cuts, working to get more people on the show, you know, and you know, with you, hopefully people see your interview, and then that even attracts more people to come. Because, like I said, it's just with Reem'o Cuts, you know, under the acronym Culture, Urban, Technology, and Sports, I just definitely want those figures of that acronym to really speak. And then also too, there's people I know, so they get to see the conversations and hear maybe some stories, you know, of our travels and journeys and stuff like that. So, you know, that's definitely what it is.
Real quick, are you into esports?
Yes, I am. As far as I played in a couple tournaments. You know, esports is great. It's a dope thing. Look what it's created. I mean, Overwatch League and NBA 2K League. Oh my God. Look at the opportunity. You know, who would ever thought maybe like 10 years ago, right? That if you play 2K, that you could get a minimum base salary without the incentives and sponsorship of like $65,000 a year.
Right. Crazy.
And that's minimum. And I just said only minimum. That's even without the sponsorship. So if you get sponsorships on top of that for gaming, and you're considered a pro athlete under the NBA, which is nuts. I mean, listen, you can't listen. I tell families, I tell adults, you know, if your kid is involved with gaming, you know, just monitor the moderations. You know, that's what it takes. I mean, you can't just put them in front of the game and then that's it. No, you know, worry about the moderations, you know, and then from there, because I hate what media has casted on gaming to think that, okay, if somebody plays constantly Call of Duty and Call of Duty nonstop, oh, that makes them a killer. They're gonna kill. They're gonna ravagely do. And I'm like, that's not even that's not even like a true narrative.
that game made everybody not a killer, but a bad dancer in my house. So
yeah, right. You know, right. You know, like it's just like it's like when media. But now here's the funny thing, right? Now look how media and the government is like siding with gaming in this current crisis. Oh my God, please, yes, get a console, go get a game, go get a Nintendo Switch, go ahead and get a PS4, go get an Xbox. It's like, wait a minute. Right. Wait a minute. Where was all this energy before this crisis?
Hey, we have a lot of new energy out these days, so just keep your head on a swivel, you know.
Oh, hey, listen.
Keep doing your thing.
That's all I can do.
Yeah, go ahead and let the people know where they can find and follow you and support your work at, so that they know.
Yes. Oh, and I forgot to mention too. I've told you, oh my God, how can I even forget? Definitely the Reem'o Meerak podcast, as well as my new self-help inspirational podcast called Perseverance is Real. So far,
you can write a book.
A book? Oh, it's tough. Listen. I know. No, listen, no, which is true. But this is why with Perseverance is Real, I'm testing it out. Like as far as telling about, you know, certain situations where I persevered from. So, you know, on the podcast, instead of saying episodes, I do say chapters. So
I like that.
Yeah, right. So far I'm up to chapter 2.
Okay.
You know, the podcast literally started this month. More so probably after this interview, I'm gonna write down chapter 3 write down what to talk about in chapter 3. And
Mhm.
basically with that podcast is just to really like just be inspirational. You know, that's how I was after I won my first award for Reem TV, one of my platforms that I had. You know, I won the award and I just stopped being competitive. like I'm competitive within myself. You know, I make sure myself is a better individual. But as far as with everybody else, you know, if you have your platform as well, you know, I go, I don't want Tanya to win, or you know, forget her, or like you know, it's just like,
It's enough to go
dude,
around.
yes, all to go around. But also too, if anybody wants to follow all my future content and catch up with me and personally email me, you can go to remomeerak.com. That's where all my content, everything that I do is plastered on there. And if you want to on Instagram, you can follow me at Reem'o Meerak, Reemo Meerak, Meerak. And to the gamers, I have a gaming and acting page. It's Reem'o approved, Reemo approved.
All right, and we will make sure that we have all of your information down below.
Yes.
And we'll stay in touch and we'll continue to dialogue and find solutions and find some cool stuff to do together. And we will see Mr. East Coast out in the West Coast sometime.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a definite guaranteed. I will not let that slip.
Right.
It will happen if it's not by end of mid third quarter or mid second quarter. I think we're in second quarter right now, right? So
I'm so confused. I don't know where we are.
But yeah, but for sure, guaranteed. I'm not gonna let LA slip. I mean, the farthest I've been out was Vegas. I do know that's 2 hours away. I should have took the extra 2 hours and dropped myself in LA. I know. I'm sorry. I apologize to everybody out in LA. But no, I'm definitely will make sure that I am in LA. So
and bring all that energy, sir. Bring all that.
Yes. Listen. I've heard too many stories of LA for me not to, except the traffic. I don't know about the traffic. I've heard the traffic. Traffic's a little.
You gotta keep your energy high so you don't fall asleep on the freeway.
Yeah. You know how us New Yorkers are about traffic. We kind of get edgy a little.
Well, thank you for your time. We definitely
Yes.
appreciate you here at Leaders and Learners.
Yes.
Schooled me on a few things, and I will be reaching out about some of the other stuff you talked about. So thank you so much, and we're glad to have you, and love having you on the platform. And we'll keep in touch.
You already know. Early.